What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 17th day of February. I don't know about you guys, but this month feels like it's moving slow, and maybe that's fair because we haven't really done much. We really haven't done much, and this goes back to this day right here where we made the call, the same call that we made on this day back here, that we're probably not going to do much, right? Don't get too excited, right? Those are the words that we use. Don't get too excited because these 2 days here back to back were over 10% to the downside, 10% to the upside, over 10% both ways. And we just don't see days like that for Bitcoin. Normally, we do get days like this. Remember, guys, there was a whole almost 3-month period here where the largest candles that we had were 5% to the upside, half what we saw here. And those were the largest candles that we saw. Most of them look like this, right? Very small candles. So sideways, boring, a little bit to the upside. That's the expectation. Again, from this range, and I'll be saying this is going to be a tune that we're going to sing and dance to over the next month and a half or longer, that I think we will, through this time, see both lower lows and both higher highs. I think that we will not cross this line for the entirety of 2026. If we do cross this line, it would be in Q4 of this year, like late Q4. But I don't think that we're going to break above 80K all year, which means we consolidate. Maybe we get a lower low, right? We get this higher high, whatever, and then April, May comes around. Who knows? We've been consolidating, and honestly, we might even be consolidating longer than that. Like this consolidation range, you guys, might be longer than the last one. And that's kind of what I'm expecting, what I'm forecasting. I think this one might be longer than our last one. And then we'll break through. This will be our final descent down into madness in our bear market. And we should probably find support somewhere in the low 50s to something between there and 40K, something in this kind of area. I'm thinking probably in the upper half of this box here. And that'll probably happen in July, August, or September that we find this low. I'm drawing it down super fast, but it's probably not going to take a short time, right? This, from a high to a low, the pace only picked up here. There was still, from here to here, like a 2 or 3 week period where we just moved sideways, about a 2 week period where we kind of moved very, very slowly, and then the pace picked up. anyways, that's kind of the thought that I have at the moment. Either that or, maybe we can drop sooner. Maybe we drop earlier than that. That could happen, but then maybe we do have one more drop to go. I still believe we bottom at some point in July, August, or September, if not later. Again, from here, I assume that throughout this year, we will be working on a move down, a phase down, that will likely bring us to our bear market low sometime in July, August, or September. It's February. We're not going to go down there right now, so what are we going to do? We're going to move sideways. Maybe we move down a little bit. We move sideways again, consolidate, and then we move down. At the most, we have 2 significant moves down. Probably, though, we have like 1 more significant move down. We'll see. Anyways, short-term stuff. Zooming in now. Backtracking a little bit, coming back to this area here. Not thinking prospectively, thinking right here. I guess we're still going to be thinking prospectively. Anyways, 1 hour time frame. Bitcoin's all over the place. Can't make up its mind, or as soon as it does make up its mind, it throws you for a loop, right? You get the higher high, that's when you dump. You get the lower low, that's when you pumped a little bit, but then you dump down, right? Whatever. You get the higher high here, that's when you dump. You broke out of this, right? It's still a lower high overall. As soon as you get the lower low, that's when you pump. Bitcoin's just toying with us at this point. It's having a lot of fun doing so. Not a lot of volume. Volume is decreasing a little bit, but there does seem, in my opinion, to be more volume to the selling side than to the buying side, right? You can see these spikes coming in here, all bringing in selling pressure. You got a little spike here with some buying pressure, it seems, but the rest is all just selling pressure. So here we are. Not a whole lot of volume over the past day or so. We're just consolidating here. I think once that volume picks up, we're probably going to drop below this level here. Let's see. The 1 hour RSI is weird. It's really weird because you have this lower low, lower high kind of dynamic here. It's like a broadening wedge down. But you're also very volatile and neutral right here. It's like you're in this overall bearish formation with a hint of neutrality here. I'm still bearish on it. The stochastics look a little bit good here. Sometimes though you're most bearish when you are down here, right? And then you recover a little bit, but then you continue to drop. So maybe we recover a little bit, but I would still expect that we continue to drop. I doubt that we see prices above 70K again before getting to prices that are below 60K. That's at least my expectation from here. The MACD looks bearish. The stochastics, they look kind of hopeful here, but for all intents and purposes, they're bearish as well. 4-hour time frame here, looking at the RSI. Let's see. Again, we have this little trend, which is nice. It's been holding us up for quite a while. And it's not perfect. There are blemishes, but more or less you can kind of see this parallel channel of a path that we've been building, that we've been constructing since the 20th of January back here. If this breaks, or if we go below this, this will probably signal that we are ready to break out of this area and go back down and test this 60K level there. And I think we'll see that. I mean, this RSI, in my opinion, it looks bearish, right? Why does it look bearish? Well, you're having no troubles at all getting oversold, right? You are rejecting the overbought zone. You're double topping at the overbought zone. We're rejecting the 50 here. I think that we're going to get oversold, personally. We'll see. If we come back down and we bounce off this oversold zone, that could give us a little bit of pause. That could give us a little bit of an idea that we're not going to go below this low, and maybe we do recover, but I don't think so. I think that we're going to get oversold. I think that'll result in a breakout of this area here, getting oversold or getting overbought. Should result in a breakout of this zone here. I think we're going to get oversold. I think we'll break out to the downside. The MACD, man, the MACD is disappointing because this was nice. This was a good setup. You broke above the zero. You're supposed to backtest the zero, find support, and then move up. We could be doing that here. We're still at that point, but every day that goes by, it seems as though we're just slowly crossing through this zero again. This might have been a false cross overall. Really, we should be looking at this not as a break, but a point of resistance, and we're finding resistance, and now we're going to come back down. That's the way I'm looking at it here. Stochastics look bearish, in my opinion. RSI, technically, honestly, it actually looks bullish, but it's like you don't like to be bullish. It's like you're bullish, but you hate it. You're bullish, but you're not happy about it. You'd rather be bearish for some reason. I don't know why. Overall, it's very bearish, but just right here, I would say there is a little bit of bullishness. But outside of that, I'm still thinking we move down. Maybe you move up a little bit, but again, I wouldn't even think that this thing moves back above 70K before going below 60K. The daily time frame here, there's some bullish stuff going on, right? It seems as though you've broken out of a downward sloping channel here. That is bullish. You do have the higher highs in the RSI with the lower highs in the price. That is bearish. It's hidden bearish divergence. Overall, I'd say your RSI is bearish, but there are some bullish things going on. I mean, I have to admit, you've been a little bit more resilient on the daily RSI than I thought you would be. I thought we would have gotten oversold here. I certainly didn't think that we'd bounce like this. Bouncing off the oversold zone is good. Rejecting the 40 is not good, though. So you take a good thing, you give it a bad thing, that's not good. So likely we're going to come down. We'll see. Stochastics at a point to find resistance. This is all stuff that we've gone over the past couple days. So I won't do that now. Weekly time frame here. Now there's a couple of fibs. Maybe even a few fibs that we should look at. Let's see. I'm just curious real quick because this is not one that I normally look at, but let's just see how this is working out so far. 2618 support, 1618 resistance, all the way through the 3618 down to almost the 4618, really. Interesting, the golden ratio significance there that you're finding, right? 2618, 1618, we see that serendipity happen a lot. That's a very small range, though. That might be less significant. This, I think, will promote more significance, low to high. And I am going to take this high. I know that's the all-time high, but for all intents and purposes, I'm measuring this move. I'm not measuring the actual high. It's not like the actual low to high. It's the move itself. If this was higher, I would probably just take the low from here to that high. You know what I mean? That's how I would do it. But if I felt like I needed to use this low, it'd have to be a discernible high. These higher highs are fake out highs. So I'm gonna measure it based off the move. That's how I do it. Some people do it the other way. They're close enough. I mean, look, 54.6K at the golden ratio there. Now it's at 53.8K. It's really not that far away. It's not that big of a difference. But to me, it's different enough to where I'm going to do this. Low to high. Golden ratio support zone. 1272, 1414. Not a whole lot here other than, you know, if we find support here, this might be a point to find resistance. If we don't find support here, we go lower, this might be a point to find support. And that's kind of what I would assume anyways. I don't think that we'll get above 80K when we move up. I don't think that we're really going to go below 50K if we move down, right? 55K seems appropriate. And then there's this fib level from a low to a high where our money zone, the 2886, the 3113, these levels all line up. And then our 2618 is here at the 58K level. The 2618 again, remember we had that respect from that first fib that I pulled up. The 2618, the golden ratio. Here, we actually just went right down near the 2618, came all the way back up to the golden ratio again to find resistance. The last time we saw this, literally the last time we saw this, we took this, or let's see, it was whenever I took that low to high there. We saw the, let's just actually go over it again real quick. It was the 2618 to the 1618, right? 2618, the red line, up to the 1618, the orange line, all the way down through your 3618 to your 4618. You see it, right? All these golden ratios. Like, you're finding support at the 4618, but you're finding resistance at the 3618. You're finding support at the 2618. You're finding resistance at the 1618. Do you see that? Still respect, though, little ranges of all these areas. Isn't that interesting? The same thought comes to my mind here, is that from a low to a high here, and not that we'll be range bound. I think that we will get above this level, but we're finding resistance at the 1618. Maybe we find support at the 2618. Maybe we go lower. Last time we rejected the 1618, we went down to the 3618 and lower. I don't think we go this low. I personally very much doubt that we go this low, at least right now. Anything could happen. Maybe this bear market ends sooner than anticipated. If that happens, we'll be looking for a bullish Q3 and Q4 at that rate. But 53 to 58K, I could really see that happening. That's the expectation. That's the prediction. I don't really have anything else I want to say, so I'm going to end it there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Weekly time frames in the dumps, guys. I mean, we never see this oversold unless we're in a bear market. In fact, the last time we were oversold was in a bear market. We were at the ass end of our bear market, actually. The time before that, same thing. Very ass end of our bear market. The time before that, same thing, right? And then again, for anybody out there who's, let's call you premature with your bullishness, it's okay to be bullish, I suppose, but just let's get our expectations in the right order, okay? So this was Bitcoin's first bear market. Things were crazy. Things moved a lot faster back here. From a low to a point at which we got above this high, that took us about 15 months, about a year and a quarter. And this was when things were moving fast, a year and a quarter. After we found the low, it was a year and a quarter before we saw new all-time highs. I'm sorry. We have a low here. I'm not going to take the double bottom. I'm going to take the first low. Okay, because that's your bear market low. This is just the end of your crab market. That's like the beginning of your bull market. This is the end of your bear market. That, from the bear market low, was 36 months. That's almost 3 years, you guys. You want to cherry pick? You want to put it here? That's fine. Oh, I'm sorry. That's to the new all-time high. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to say till we broke this high here. That would have been over here. That was 26 months. Still, about 2 years. If you want to cherry pick, 19 months. Still, a year and a half. A long time after the bear market's over. We find this low. We did not get above this high right here until this month over here, which was 24 months later, 2 years, you guys, till we got above that high. And then here on this high, We found this bear market low. We did not see new all-time highs until here 16 months later. So at best, we have about a year and a half, a year and a quarter before we see new all-time highs after we find the low in the bear market. After we find the low. If you think this is the low, that's great. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree all day, but we can at least both agree on, or all of us agree on, that even if this is the low, it's going to be quite some time that we hang out in this area. And that would be interesting. If Bitcoin was at its quote-unquote bear market low, this wouldn't really be a bear market, right? Because we'd consolidate for another year or so before actually breaking out. We'd just be in like one giant crab market here. We never had a bear market. It would be really, really weird. And that's a possibility. But I do think that we're going to go lower. I'm not running with that possibility. We've never seen that before. It's not that it can't happen, but anyways, that would actually, by the way, if we were to do this and then move up, technically this the idea of being in a super cycle would be accurate, because that's not a bear market. I mean, it is, we are in a bear market, but if that's all it was, that was the low, I think we'd look back at this and all agree at some point that this was really just a sideways phase, not a bear market. But I'm running in hypotheticals now. That doesn't really help us. All I'm really trying to say here, guys, is that, again, time. We have a lot of time. We are not at the low. Even once we have the low, it'll take us over a year before we see new highs. You know? And new highs from here, from this low, are really not that far away, right? In Bitcoin terms. I mean, 100% growth is definitely nice, but it's not that far away in Bitcoin terms. I don't know, just some perspective there at the end. The main point of this video, though, is the price prediction. I think that we're going to go lower. I do think that we're going to see prices below 60K. And then from there, we can start moving up toward 80K. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.